Que vous soyez fou de l'ambiance ou fan du spectacle, rejoignez-nous pour célébrer la passion du football autour d'une délicieuse 33 Export. Avec 33 Export, on gagne ou on gagne. 33 Export, supporter numéro 1 du football. Boisson du Cameroun.
Vivez les moments de Cannes sur la 106.8 Radio AUDACE à Coeur. La Cannes 2023, c'est sur la 106.8 Radio AUDACE. Les moments de Cannes sur la 106.8 Radio AUDACE à Coeur. La Cannes 2023, c'est sur la 106.8 Radio AUDACE.
A healthy good afternoon, greetings to all faithful listeners of Radio AUDACE. Welcome to joining us again on to yet another exciting moment of your program, Au Cœur de la Cannes. On today's edition of the program, we shall be telling you the latest news coming up from Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, as far as the ongoing AUCUN is concerned. We shall also be talking about the just ended extraordinary assembly or extraordinary meeting of executive members of FECAFOOT, which of course took place yesterday in Yaoundé. Let's begin from Côte d'Ivoire, whereby we are told that since the start of this year's tournament, to date, we have had over 143 goals scored in 48 matches. Some members of CAF Technical Group have met with the press in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, with updates on some statistical data on the ongoing AUCUN tournament. It's been told the competition has so far seen more goals scored in 48 matches than in any other edition, and the CAF technicians are certain African football is on a steady progress. They have assured the press that referees officiating the matches are of high professional standards, so there is no room for irregularities. According to the panelists, AUCUN 2023 is having more twists than unusual. Statistically, the members say 143 goals have been scored in 48 encounters, indicating 43 more than last edition, with most scored from a crosses and only 5 from counter-attacks. They also observed that the 4-3-3 formation was prominent among most participating nations. Averagely, they say Cape Verde has more players above the age of 27 than any other country, while Gambia and Cote d'Ivoire had relatively younger players. The technicians praised South Africa for team consistency and for betting more on home-based talents, which they say is fundamental in developing football on the continent. They discussed on the need to continue encouraging goalkeepers championed by Cameroon's legendary goal stopper Joseph Antoine Bell, who says African goalkeeping talents are already taking global top spot. Thus, the necessity to continue encouraging more to take interest in this position. The question of refereeing within the competition came up with some allegedly unsatisfactory match outcomes blamed on supposed rough work by match officials. And of course, the CAF nations assured the press there is no quack within the sector and are comfortable with the output of the referees, which they say is as a result of the ultimate training and follow-up they receive more than a year before the competition. Meantime, the idea of the cooling break is justified in high humidity in the host cities, and they say CAF is keeping a close watch on weather changes. Another presser has been announced with the CAF president before the end of the tournament. As you already know, the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations Cote d'Ivoire 2023 has reached fever pitch with the semi-finals lineup officially confirmed after Nigeria, DR Congo, Cote d'Ivoire and South Africa secured their respective places. Bafana face all-time foes Nigeria in the first semi-final on Wednesday, 7th of February, in what will be a repeat of the 2000 semi-final that saw the Super Eagles overcome the 1996 champions 2-0 in Lagos. The rivalry between the two sides will be renowned in Cote d'Ivoire as Nigeria chases their fourth title, while South Africa looks ahead to what has been an elusive second. Following the 2000 semi-final defeat, the Super Eagles of Nigeria edged Bafana in the quarterfinals in the 2019 edition in Egypt with a narrow 2-1 win. The two sides have met 14 times, with the Super Eagles enjoying a lion's share of the result with 7 victories against 2 for South Africa, with the remaining 5 ending in stalemate. This will be another entry for the rich history books of African football, with Bafana now under the guidance of 2 former African champions against a star-studded Super Eagles side. The South African side is led by Total Energies AFCON 2017 winner coach Hugo Broos, who guided the Indomitable of Cameroon to victory 5 years ago. The Belgian tactician is assisted by Herman Mekelen, a key member of the 1996 golden generation that lifted South Africa's first and only African title. It will be an uphill task between containing an explosive Super Eagles side led by the dangerous Victor Osimhen and the red-hot Ademole Lookman. The kickoff of that game at Stade de la Paix in Boaké will be at exactly 5 p.m. in Boaké and 6 p.m. in Cameroon. Let's take a listen to the team press officer of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Bemi Femi, to tell us just what is the state of mind of the players of the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Good state of mind, preparing real hard. You can see in training, we have all members of the team, every squad member also in training, although some have been asked to just rest today out, but tomorrow they resume training again. So wonderful mental state ahead of the game on Wednesday. No cause for worry. They are here, but not training with the group, but they're very much here. It's going to be a very stiff one. It's going to be a very tough encounter. We know the more we progress in this tournament, we'll meet tougher oppositions. The group stages, we had tough oppositions. We got to the round of 16, it was tougher when we played Cameroon. And then we got to the quarterfinal, we played Angola. We knew that was going to be tough to end up in among the top 8 from 24 nations. And right now it's at the top 4 from 24 nations. We know South Africa will even be tougher. But iron sharpeneth iron, and you have to pass through very tough times to achieve that success. South Africa will be one of those hurdles where we have to scale. Can we scale this hurdle? Yes. Do we have the materials to do it? Yes. Are we competent enough to scale the South African hurdle? Yes. But we are mindful of some hiccups, some portals that could be inherent. But we should be able to surmount those. And we're doing everything to ensure there are no mistakes, limit mistakes, and going to the game and win. We are 2 wins away from clinching our 4th AFCON title. What's Ghana do it this way? We understand this, but we're talking about teams still in the competition, and we're focused on that. So we hope we get to be among eventually the best of the 4 left. It's a competition, and football is beautiful. Ghana being here, every other country here made the competition even interesting. The engagement. Now, I'm not talking about just the competition. I'm talking about the engagement, the followership, everything that happened with the Ghanaian team, every other team really made the AFCON. The Premier League is on, for crying out loud. The Asian Championships are ongoing, for crying out loud. But despite that, CAF, the AFCON, is eliciting such rave reviews. I think we should commend CAF for this, whether we like it or not. African football has come of age and come to stay. This AFCON is bigger than what you even experience when you talk about whether the Copa America or whatever. So it's a great one, and we commend us as African. Even with the journalists, with the media, we've done a massive job in projecting the AFCON positively.
And of course, I take on this press release, which reads thus: the Executive Committee of the Cameroon Football Federation held a session on Monday, February 5 at the Yaoundé Hilton Hotel. The agenda focused on evaluating the performance of the senior men's national team at the ongoing AFCON in Ivory Coast. And of course, at the beginning of the meeting, the president of the Cameroon Football Federation, Mr. Samuel Eto'o, tendered his resignation to the members of the federal executive organ, invited them to do likewise in good faith. At the end of the discussions and subsequent deliberations, the members of the executive committee decided to maintain their current mandate and thus unanimously rejected the president's resignation, thereby renewing their confidence in him to continue with the same spirit of reconstruction and development of Cameroon football at all levels as envisaged in his plan adopted by the Elective General Assembly of December 11, 2021. Good afternoon, Jamie Ateke.
Yeah, good afternoon, Wanahe. Good afternoon to the listeners of Radio Dance.
Very important. I'm delighted the people of Energy Supply decided to give way so that you can enjoy your company as far as the program of today is concerned.
Yes, normally today I think we have some stability, because yesterday there was no stability. The light had to come, I think, around 3 o'clock, so it was difficult, and so most of our devices were down. So we thank God for today.
All right, Josh Rim, bon après-midi.
Bon après-midi Henri, bon après-midi à Jamie Ateke, bon après-midi aux techniciens.
Mouna.
Bon après-midi à tous les auditeurs de Radio AUDACE et de ce programme.
Je sais que tu attends Monsieur le maire.
C'est avec Monsieur le maire qu'on a l'habitude de faire le programme. En fait, au moment où le programme commence, Mouna cède son fauteuil à Monsieur le maire. Donc ça fait que on est plus habitué à Monsieur le maire. Mes excuses, Mouna.
Il arrive. All right, Josh Rim, let's begin talking about the just ended executive meeting of FECAFOOT yesterday. Since we are talking about AFCON, the meeting was all about the performance of Cameroon in the ongoing AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire to evaluate, and the president decided to tender his resignation, which was rejected by those of the executive committee of FECAFOOT. Now, do you believe that Eto'o's resigning from his responsibility as president of FECAFOOT was a good decision for football in Cameroon at this point in time, when many are not blaming him for the poor performance, but rather they are asking for a change for the personality and the technical staff managing the team? But Eto'o decided to tender his resignation and saying that the executive committee should do like him.
La réponse des membres du comité exécutif de la Fédération camerounaise de football répond à votre question. Et ce n'était pas une bonne décision de la part de ces derniers, mais on peut comprendre pourquoi il lui est arrivé de déposer sa démission, heureusement rejetée par l'ensemble des membres du comité exécutif de la Fédération camerounaise de football. Mais comme je l'ai dit, ça peut se comprendre pourquoi il en est arrivé à prendre une décision aussi grave. Je dis ça peut se comprendre. Je ne suis pas lui pour expliquer les raisons qui l'ont poussé à prendre cette décision. Nous essayons simplement de comprendre et de trouver comment expliquer cela. Voilà, donc, vous savez, Samuel Eto'o-Fils, c'est un être humain avant tout. Avant de s'appeler Samuel Eto'o-Fils, c'est un être humain comme toi, comme moi et comme tous ceux qui nous écoutent. Et à un moment donné, on peut en avoir par-dessus la tête toutes les attaques dont on est injustement coupable. Et vous convenez avec moi que ce soit sur la toile, que ce soit même dans les médias, ou même partout où 2 ou 3 personnes peuvent se retrouver, ils n'ont qu'un seul mot dans la bouche, Samuel Eto'o-Fils, et tous ne disent pas que du bien de lui. D'ailleurs, quand vous lisez la toile, les gens lui disent tout et n'importe quoi, s'attaquent à sa personne, à sa famille, et à un moment donné, vous pouvez vous poser la question de savoir, mais pourquoi subir tout cela à cause du football, alors qu'il aurait pu rester tranquille dans ce petit coin après sa retraite, couler de jours très très paisibles, loin de toute cette agitation qu'il ne souffrirait de rien. Mais par amour pour son pays, par amour pour le football qui lui a tout donné, il s'est dit qu'il fallait peut-être redonner à ce football-là ce que ce football lui a apporté en venant au chevet d'un football camerounais mort depuis des années. Mort depuis des années. Parce qu'il n'est là que depuis des ans. Oui, oui. Mais vous avez le sentiment, à écouter les autres, que c'est lui le problème du football. Ce football est malade, agonisant et mourant, et mort depuis, je l'ai dit la dernière fois sur ces antennes, depuis presque une trentaine d'années, 3 décennies. Et ce n'est pas la blague.
That's 3 decades.
C'est vrai qu'entre-temps, il y a eu des victoires avec les Lions, mais c'était des victoires qui cachaient le mal profond de ce football-là. Oui. Et il s'est dit, non, le Cameroun ne peut pas avoir un football qui leur a permis à eux, les Samuel Eto'o-Fils, les Roger Mila, les ceci et consorts, d'être ce qu'ils sont devenus, et qu'à leur tour, qu'ils ne fassent rien pour sortir ce football-là de là où les autres l'ont plongé. C'est pour ça qu'il s'est lancé dans cela, avec comme leitmotiv, avec comme principal ordre de bataille, redonner à ce football toute sa grandeur. Okay. Mais en 2 ans, vous convenez avec moi que ce n'est pas évident. Et malgré les efforts perceptibles, je dis bien perceptibles, qu'il a fait, que ce soit dans la restructuration de nos championnats, MTN Elite 1, MTN Elite 2, Guinée Super League et le football jeune qui est en train de sortir de terre. Les gens se plaignent de ce qu'il n'y a pas de championnat, mais il ne peut pas avoir de championnat tant que ce n'est pas bien organisé. Les histoires sur...
subvention.
Au-delà de la subvention, je parle du football jeune, l'âge. Et donc, c'est d'abord par là qu'il faut commencer. C'est pour ça qu'il y a eu ce problème d'exigence de la CNI pour ces catégories où d'aucuns ont estimé qu'à un certain âge, on ne peut pas demander. Mais pour assurer une certaine traçabilité, s'assurer que vous, Henri Wana, vous avez effectivement 12 ans. Je crois que la seule pièce qui atteste de cela, c'est la carte d'identité. On sait tous que les gens font avec les actes de naissance aujourd'hui. Aujourd'hui, vous pouvez avoir un acte de naissance, demain un autre, après-demain, etc., etc. Mais la pièce, la carte d'identité, par contre, biométrique, ça se trafique difficilement. Donc, ça prendra du temps. Et il a, malgré sa volonté de démissionner, je salue la décision unanime du COMEX d'avoir rejeté cette démission et de lui renouveler toute sa confiance pour le restant du mandat pour le reste du mandat qu'il a passé et peut-être éventuellement lors des prochaines élections à la Fédération camerounaise de football. L'autre chose qui peut expliquer qu'il rende son tablier, c'est peut-être parce que il se dit au regard du bilan de nos sélections, masculines, féminines, toutes sélections confondues, même si on commence à percevoir quelques quelques résultats assez encourageants, notamment la qualification à la Coupe du Monde pour les U20 féminines. Oui. Les U17 toujours chez les femmes ou chez les filles, si vous voulez, qui sont encore en lice pour, je crois, c'est la CAN. On a la qualification pour les Jeux Olympiques, la double confrontation décisive contre le Nigeria à venir. On ne sait encore comment ça va se terminer, mais elles sont encore en course. Il y a eu la victoire aux Jeux de la francophonie, qui sont également des choses à mettre à l'actif de cet exécutif. Mais il y a eu de gros échecs quand même, il faut le reconnaître. La non-qualification à la Coupe d'Afrique des Nations de la sélection fanion féminine, la non-qualification des catégories, je crois, U17 pour la Coupe d'Afrique de la même catégorie, l'élimination, la toute récente, dès les huitièmes de finale des Lions indomptables peuvent être des choses qui les poussaient à prendre ces décisions, en plus de ce que je venais de vous expliquer, qu'il a peut-être marre de ce que son nom soit trimballé dans la boue par le premier kidam de la rue qui ne connaît le football ni d'Adam ni d'Ève, qui ne serait même pas capable de se placer devant lui pour lui parler, mais qui, à travers les réseaux sociaux, trouve le moyen de tout dire de lui. Donc, autant de choses, de mon humble point de vue, je ne dis pas que c'est ce qui l'a motivé, oui, mais on peut également expliquer ça de cette façon-là.
All right, Jimmy Ateka, yesterday the Executive Committee of FECAFOOT held a crisis meeting to discuss the way forward while looking at the report card and find solutions with the national team. What actually went wrong and how could they make amends for future tournaments? And of course, Samuel Etofi's president of FECAFOOT decided to tender his resignation letter and ask his members of COMEX to do same. But then the members of COMEX decided to reject his resignation letter and decided to ask him that they are going to stand by him in this difficult moment. Now, many are asking themselves the question, was the decision of Samuel Etofi sincere, or was he just trying to tease the members of his executive committee?
Well, it's not actually whether TCS, he might have tried to test the executive committee and the Cameroonian public to see their reaction towards his resignation. He had to put it in the paper or in writing to ensure that he resigns. But the executive refused, that they are not going to actually concur with what he's saying. Normally, it's out of frustration. I think frustrations also count when it comes to this particular resignation, because if you look at it, normally since Edo took over, we've had, I think, just 2 successes. If you look at it, the Islamic Solidarity Games, the Francophonie Games in Congo, which we emerged champions in football. And then we also had some successes at the level of the AUCUN in Cameroon, where we finished third. So I think that was really the achievement which Eto has achieved, because if you look at club football, Coton Sports of Garoua, the likes of our fields for the Guinea Super League, they went there and could not travel to Equatorial Guinea to take on the playoffs of the CAF Women's Champions League because of lack of finance. FECAFOOT have not given their monies which they won the Guinea Super League. So all that put together, alongside Coton Sports of Garoua, miserable performance at the level of the CAF Champions League, CAF Confederation Cup, miserable performances, and the level of the under-20s, the under-17s, the under-23s in terms of performance. And the women's team too. All that put together, and then the final nail was just the Lions' performance at the AUCUN. It had to call for an emergency from the federation, which they held a meeting yesterday to talk about the assessment of the Lions' performance. It was not only about the Indomitable Lions, but also the different categories. Alongside Cameroon football, what was the way forward? As far as Cameroon football is concerned, all those things have to be put into place. And so all that frustration, with the fact that we had external punches from people like Alhash Diouf saying that the federation is the problem of our national team football and so forth. So all those things had to be put on the president's head as far as frustration is concerned. So he had to tender it. But in other words, he was trying to do so to test if actually. So now he knows now that he has to change his modus operandi. Yes, we had series of reasons why we performed poorly. Now we talked about it's not about the quality of players you have at one point in time. Yeah. It's all about how you prepare the team, because football is a game, or a sport in general is a game where once the players are stable off the pitch, what happens off the pitch is a determinant factor to what happens on the pitch. Mm-hmm. So if you look at our national team proper, you understand that what happened off the pitch was not fatal, and so you don't expect the results on the pitch to be fatal. Now, looking at, we were going for an AFCON. We know that frightfully well that Douala is having a similar, in fact, if not the same climatic conditions like Yamoussoukro or Côte d'Ivoire. Yes. You prefer to take our players to Saudi Arabia where they have winter. That alone already is a kind of disadvantageous factor to our performance at that AFCON, because the players there in Saudi Arabia will be used to the winter. And so now coming out to the AFCON is going to be strange, because there is extreme heat, there is extreme, that's why at times the players were sluggish to engage, because the temperature was absolutely not their friend at that point in time because of where they did their camping. Those are the things that affects performance on the pitch. Now, when you look at it, rumors say that most of the training sessions, especially the training sessions which we had prior to the Gambia game, was coordinated by the president. It gives us a picture that Eto'o was omnipresent, which affected key players of the team, like Andre Fanzambo Anguissa and Andre Onana. All those players were affected because they have ego. Now, for the president to come in and start training with them, coordinating, it's like undermining the qualities of the coach. It's undermining the bureaucratic
technical know-how of the
coach. Yeah. That is why you see Sebastian had to resign, because he saw all those things and he was not like seeing it funny. I mean, he was like seeing it funny on the part of professionalism when it comes to managing a football team. So all this put together, with all the criticisms, media agenda setting and so forth, putting it down. So it had to bring a meeting of that caliber to look the way forward. Now, the problem is not resigning, but also changing your modus operandi. Because now, if you resign, we are going to now organize general elections, which might bring other cases.
Exactly.
Which might not see Cameroon football stable in the next future. So it's better he remains there and change his modus operandi and get the right people who can actually put Cameroon football to where it is. Because it is a shame. Yes, I said it, that if it's in a normal setting, in a normal phenomenon where a footballer like Samuel Eto'o, who is a brand, who is an image of a continent, of the world, of the sport, a world superstar, will be at the helm of Cameroon Football Federation, and Cameroon plays a game. He's an attacker. He knows what I'm talking about. If at all his associates are listening, that Cameroon will play a game against Nigeria and doesn't kick a ball on shot, a shot on goal. It is so shameful. And if Eto'o at the helm, Cameroon wins Gambia, and Eto'o is as happy as if we won the cup, then it shows the level at which Cameroon football has dropped. So all that, I would have expected him to resign like he did, but now we are resigning with all the cacophonies, all the different cases Fecafoot has. It's going to cause much more problems. So better he stays there and see how he can arrange things. It's just about changing his modus operandi, not being influential in every aspect. Give people positions and allow them to do their job. And then if they are not able to deliver, then you come now and say you are not only able to deliver, then you can sack the person. Like what is being done in South Africa and the rest other countries. Yeah. When they give you a project, if you fail to execute, fine, but not like interfering in whatever the coach does, like the reports we are getting from Côte d'Ivoire. So all those things put together, it shows that he wants to overshadow everybody, which it is not good. So I think as at this point in time, if the executive has agreed that he should not resign. He has to take 2 steps back and look at himself, look at his managerial model. Is it working for the growth of football? Is what he has been saying, is he actually succeeded? Then he has to take a retreat as an administrator, look at where he went wrong and see how he can bring better personnel, better human resource, bring better people who can carry Cameroon football forward and allow them to do their job. He is the president, yes, but he has some limitations, because if we are talking of federation having or being an institution, you have some bureaucratic protocols which have to be respected. And if you are putting people on those bureaucratic protocols, you don't need to interfere or do whatever those people do by undermining what you put them there or why you put them there, like what happened to the coach. As the coach was even saying in the press conference that he is not a coach, that he believes that national team do not have coach. When you hear a coach saying that, it always give us a picture that there is a different person who is doing the coaching behind the scenes. So all that put together, it tells us that the federation had the model of administration as far as the federation was concerned is not clicking. And so there is a need for a change of the style and management of football in Cameroon. Like I said, the national team, we should not expect anything better from this national team in the future, but rather we should go back to our drawing boards. Like I was saying last week, if he is Samuel Eto'o himself, he was the one who scouted Andre Onana from Kaji and took him to La Masia. He knows quite fully well that is what he is supposed to do with other players for the national football team. Yeah. Now, if he understands the structure of these 2 academies, Brazzaville and Kaji, he should go back to those academies. Now that there is enough food, let them be a kind of good plan. Bring experts from outside. It is not a crime to beg from the white man. Moroccans have begged from the white man. The white man have come and developed what they call football today in Morocco. Our modern football today in Morocco. Same with Senegal. They have gone to France and the rest and brought in experts. It doesn't stop us. It doesn't stop us for Eto'o to knock the door of an expert in Europe and say, "Come and develop football for me." It doesn't stop him. So he should bring those people and see how we can put up a plan for all our national teams, from the under 15 to the under 17, under 21s to under 23s, alongside the women's football.
All right.
Right up to the national female and women and men's team, to see that we get a proper management plan that will develop players at this level, so that by the time we are, let's say, 10 years old, we should be able to dominate football in Africa like we have been doing before. I think that should be the agenda of Samuel Eto'o, if at all he's accepting that what the executive has said about him dropping down him not resigning. They should be looking towards that direction and bringing the right people who can manage football in this great triangle. It was really a shocker. Yes, I will tell you categorically clear that it was really a shocker that at this point in time, Cameroon cannot boast of a concrete team that can actually dominate African football. It is shameful. And so all this put together, I think it's frustration, and we can still do something. To me, we can still do something as far as football development is concerned in Cameroon. Even our Elite One Championship, we've seen players going for months without salaries. We need a restructuring. He needs now to sit back. I think Eto'o himself needs to do a retreat. And if he himself has to start looking at people who can actually do the work, not by calling people who come and shower praises. Because if now he's looking at the executive saying that he should not resign, he should be able to know that the executive are happy with the way things are going. So he himself have to take a retreat. Now, taking a retreat, you need to select those who can be serious to ensure that your agenda is achieved. Because Eto'o, he has good plans for this nation.
But
normally,
his entourage,
we've seen it, what he knows. He has played football to the highest level. But now, he actually needs to get the right people who can work with him to produce the ethos that he was.
Okay.
To produce the Rojemila that they were at that time, the Thomas Kono, that they were at that time.
All right.
If he wants to succeed in that, then he should bring the right people. Morocco went and brought in Renard from Lyon. It's not by chance.
Jemia,
yeah.
Let's get a commercial break. We shall come back to continue, please.
Avec MTN Elite, redonnons au football camerounais toute sa grandeur. MTN pour la passion du foot. Alors, on fait quoi aujourd'hui?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still live on your program, Au Coeur de la CAN on Radio AUDACE. And of course, we are talking about the decision of Samuel DIFFUSEES to continue or to resign from his responsibility as president of ECAFOOT, owing to the fact that the performance of the team was not very convincing at the ongoing AFCON in Côte d'Ivoire. Josh Rim, you listen keenly from Jimmy Ateke, who says that DIFFUSEES should use this opportunity rather to arrange those who are around him. It's not all about resigning, running away from his responsibility, but he should use this time to rethink and double-check those who are around him, who are blocking the realization of his project, and equally give way for the manager or the head trainer to do his job. He should not go in and start infiltrating the job or the tactics of a head trainer. He should allow each and every one. That's what they call division of labor.
Je suis amusé avec les Camerounais. Quand tu ne démissionnes pas, on te traite de tous les noms. Quand tu démissionnes, ça dérange. Finalement, vous voulez quoi?
Mais tu es sûr qu'il avait... il faut qu'on dise la vérité. Et tu étais prêt pour démissionner?
Mais vous avez la preuve du contraire?
Parce qu'il n'a pas il a annoncé que je vais démissionner.
Il a annoncé, oui. Il a déposé, c'est le COMEX qui a refusé. Mais c'est la vérité, ce sont les faits. Vous avez le communiqué, non?
Oui, oui.
Lisez-le.
J'ai déjà présenté ça ici.
Et voilà. Est-ce que dans ce communiqué-là, on vous a dit que c'était une proposition de démission? Dans ce communiqué, il est clairement stipulé, précisé qu'il a déposé sa démission, invitant les autres membres du COMEX à lui emboîter le pas. Ce sont eux qui ont... S'ils avaient accepté, ils ne seraient plus là. Ils ont refusé. Et en refusant, ils lui ont dit, nous te renouvelons même notre confiance. À l'unanimité. Donc, ça c'était juste pour m'amuser, pour rire un tout petit peu, parce que dans ce pays, on est tellement versatile que finalement, on ne sait plus à quel sens se vouer. Vous demandez aux gens de démissionner parce que vous avez le sentiment qu'ils ont échoué. Mais maintenant qu'ils le font, ça vous dérange.
Mais ce n'est pas Eto qu'on a demandé de démissionner.
Non, je dis ceci. Les Camerounais sont si versatiles que... Ailleurs, je parle par exemple, lorsqu'il faut critiquer certains membres du gouvernement, on les appelle tous à la démission. Au point où on dit que la démission n'est pas la culture des Camerounais. Les Camerounais n'aiment pas démissionner. Et quand quelqu'un donc le fait, ça suscite encore débat. Je me demande donc...
C'est jamais vu.
Je me demande donc pourquoi, ce que finalement nous voulons. Maintenant, pour redevenir sérieux par rapport à cette question, en le faisant, il ne fuit pas ses responsabilités. Il ne fuit pas ses responsabilités. C'est justement faire face à ses responsabilités. Ceux qui démissionnent et dont on applaudit les deux mains, c'est parce qu'ils fuient aussi leurs responsabilités. Pourquoi quand c'est Samuel Eto'o, il faut l'interpréter comme étant une fuite en avant? Donc, vraiment, soyons parfois cohérents envers ce que nous disons nous-mêmes. On ne peut pas applaudir les Occidentaux quand ils démissionnent. Oh non, c'est bien, là-bas ils savent démissionner quand ça n'a pas marché. Et chez nous, quand quelqu'un le fait, c'est qu'il fuit ses responsabilités. Finalement, faut-il démissionner ou faut-il ne pas démissionner? Il faut aller jusqu'au bout de son mandat, et à ce moment-là, on saura qu'il ne fuit pas ses responsabilités. Non, vraiment. Ce pays me dépasse. Si tu C'est nous qui aimons souvent dire, si on t'explique le Cameroun et tu comprends ça, tu n'as pas compris. Je dirais la même chose. Si on t'explique le Camerounais et tu dis avoir compris, c'est que ce n'est pas d'un Camerounais dont on te parlait.
Mais qui nous a fait ça alors?
Je ne sais pas. Mais heureusement, nous tous, nous ne sommes pas pareils. Il y en a encore qui sont un minimum soit peu lucides et qui essayent d'être froids dans les analyses, même comme ça ne plaît pas, même comme ça ne plaît pas, ça ne plaît pas aux gens. Nous ferons toujours des efforts d'être froids dans l'analyse et de dire blanc quand c'est blanc, noir quand c'est noir. On n'est pas là pour dire les choses pour plaire à X ou à Y. Donc, si ce COMEX a décidé de le maintenir, c'est parce que ce COMEX, tout comme moi, Georges Rim, nous sommes convaincus de ce qu'il est, jusqu'à preuve du contraire, la personne la plus à même de sortir ce football camerounais de là où il se trouve, j'insiste à le dire, depuis au moins 30 ans. Et comme j'aime souvent le dire, si Eto'o échoue, oubliez. C'est fini. Ce football est... Si Eto'o échoue, ce sera l'enterrement du football camerounais. Et c'est pour cela que je comprends pas pourquoi les Camerounais se donnent autant de mal à lui mettre les bâtons dans les roues. C'est quoi? Pour gagner quoi à la fin? Il n'est là que depuis 2 ans. Les joueurs, je pense que avant lui, aucun président de la fédération n'avait pensé à une révalorisation salariale des joueurs. Aucun. Lui, il est arrivé, il l'a fait. Même si certains clubs continuent encore à jongler, à jouer au chat et à la souris, mais au moins, un footballeur, quand il va signer dans un club dans ce pays, c'est qu'il a minimalement 200 000 francs qu'on doit lui payer tous les mois. Au moins. C'est-à-dire que la base salariale du footballeur professionnel en Elite 1, c'est 200 000. En Elite 2, c'est 100 000. Au moins. Avant, ce n'était pas le cas. Bien sûr. Avant, ce n'était pas le cas. Depuis 2 saisons, le championnat se joue sans interruption. On sait quand ça commence, on sait quand ça finit. Avant, lui, ça n'était pas le cas. Je dis ceux qui nous écoutent, je mets quiconque au défi de me rapporter la preuve du contraire. Depuis 2 ans qu'il est là, oui, les clubs, certains présidents de clubs peuvent grogner, peuvent menacer de suspendre, de gréver, mais ça n'arrive pas.
Those are the recalcitrant presidents who were never ready to pay their
Même là, même eux, ils ont beau gueuler, ils ont beau menacer, ils s'alignent. Souvenez-vous ce championnat. Il y en a qui ont dit qu'ils vont plutôt aller jouer un fameux championnat organisé par...
On attend
jusqu'à aujourd'hui. Mais les mêmes là, ils jouent. Hein. Ils jouent l'actuel championnat. Non, c'est pour vous dire à un moment donné que le Camerounais dérange. J'ai comme le sentiment dans ce pays, on n'aime pas ce qui est bien. On se complaît dans le désordre parce que le désordre, effectivement, permet à tout le monde de gratter un peu ici, de gratter un peu là-bas. Mais quand on veut mettre de l'ordre, ça dérange ceux-là qui comprennent qu'avec l'ordre-là, nos petits business, nos petits gombos, c'est terminé. Voilà le problème de Samuel Eto'o-Fils. Les élections nationales, depuis 2 saisons, depuis 2 ans, autant pour moi. Et chaque fois que ces élections sont engagées en compétition, avez-vous entendu une seule fois des problèmes de primes? Jamais. D'ailleurs, il y a une vidéo du Gobos, l'ancien sélectionneur de Lyon. Allez l'écouter, cette vidéo-là. Où vous avez toute une équipe nationale du Cameroun.
Problème de prime.
Au-delà du problème de prime, qui dort à la Belle Étoile, à qui on refuse de servir à manger parce qu'on n'a pas payé. Donc vous voyagez, vous laissez l'argent à Yaoundé. Depuis qu'il est là, vous avez déjà entendu des histoires de ce genre? Que les joueurs ont dormi à la Belle Étoile, qu'ils ont dormi dans un hôtel, ça n'a pas été payé, la facture n'a pas été réglée, la note de facture, la note d'hôtel n'a pas été réglée, qu'ils sont restés discuter des heures entières dans les chambres pour des questions de primes.
La même chose en 2014, avant d'aller au Brésil.
L'argent est toujours
au ciel.
Voilà. Donc, c'est pour vous dire que ce monsieur a le souci de vraiment restructurer le football camerounais. Mais ne lui demandez pas de faire des miracles en 2 ans. Mais en 2 ans, il a déjà posé des actes assez significatifs pour que celui qui veut vraiment voir ce football sortir des abîmes où il est, se disent que si en 2 ans il a déjà pu faire ceci, qu'est-ce qu'il est capable de faire en 4 ans? Qu'est-ce qu'il est même capable de faire sur 2 mandats, 3 mandats, etc., etc., etc. Moi, je pense que les Camerounais doivent savoir vraiment ce qu'ils veulent. Si c'est vraiment le développement du football camerounais qui nous habite tous, qui nous anime tous, et qui suscite en nous autant de passion, ils devraient également comprendre que nous avons peut-être la chance, l'unique en la personne de Samuel Eto'o-Fils d'atteindre ces objectifs-là, et nous devons tout faire pour l'aider. Chacun à son niveau. Hein. Celui qui m'écoute au quartier, la première chose, c'est d'aller au stade et de payer son ticket.
Peut-être ils vont soutenir Njitap.
Je ne sais pas. Même si c'est Njitap, allez au stade, payez le ticket. Donc Njitap va arriver, là, il va vous dire le stade, c'est gratuit. Non. Mais quand on demande de payer à 1000 francs l'entrée au stade, les gens se plaignent. Mais vous voulez que les clubs se développent. Vous voulez que le football se développe. Vous voulez qu'on paye les salaires à 200 000 francs. Vous ne payez pas les tickets. Les tickets, ça participe du budget de fonctionnement d'une équipe de football.
C'est ça.
Mais le même est capable de te sortir 5 000 francs là pour aller boire en face. On leur demande de supporter les équipes. Ils se réclament tous ici, supporters de Canon, supporters d'Union, supporters de Aigle, supporters de ceci. Mais demande-lui une seule carte de membre, même la plus petite qui soit, 1000 francs ou 500. Il n'en a pas. Mais si c'est pour insulter Samuel Eto'o-Fils, ils sont champions. Il dit non, il faut qu'on arrête avec la sorcellerie. Je le redis, si Eto'o-Fils ne réussit pas à redresser le football camerounais, oublions, on va continuer comme on fait là. Le jour où on gagne, on est content, mais entre 2 victoires, le fossé, l'écart sera toujours grand.
Okay. All right, we have this latest information now reaching us, saying that Nigeria's Super Eagles squad flew from Abidjan to Bouaké, where they will face South Africa without star man Victor Osimhen. According to a statement from the Nigerian Federation, the African Ballon d'Or is suffering from an abdominal discomfort and will have to pass a fitness test before he could join the team ahead of their semi-final clash with South Africa. Now, Jimmy Ateke, let's change the cue now to talk about the AFCON as well as the semi-final matches. All right?
Oui, c'est une information à prendre très importante parce que je l'ai lu quelque part. Je pensais que c'était de la blague au sujet de Victor Osimhen. Oui, effectivement, il pourrait. On le dit même d'ailleurs incertain pour la demi-finale demain. Et si le Nigeria perd Victor Osimhen,
c'est fini?
Non, je n'ai pas dit c'est fini, mais ce sera un très très gros handicap pour cette équipe. Je vous ai dit, au-delà du buteur qu'il est, c'est le premier contre-attaquant de cette équipe-là, le premier défenseur de cette équipe-là. Le nombre de courses qu'il fait pour empêcher les relances de l'équipe adverse, je l'ai dit, il y a même certains milieux de terrain qui ne le font pas. Donc j'espère pour le Nigeria que c'est certes une grosse alerte, mais sans plus de dégâts que cela, et que demain il sera remis pour disputer cette demi-finale.
All right, Jim Ateke, let's talk a little bit about the AFCON, the semi-finals. We already have information, latest information coming in from the den of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, saying that Victor Osimhen might not be possibly fit for the South African clash tomorrow. How did you receive this news? Could it paralyze the team as far as prepared to face the Bafana of South Africa tomorrow?
Yeah, it's going to destabilize the team in Nigeria, because if you look at it, he has been a key player as far as the Nigerian squad is concerned. So missing a player of his caliber is going to be a big blow for Nigeria. He might not have scored many goals in the tournament, but his work rate to see that Nigeria qualifies for the semi-finals is key to this Nigerian side if they are to net ambition to win this particular title. Because if you look at Osimhen's work rate, he created, I think, in the group stage, he created close to about 18 chances, had 4 shots on target, on goal, which is somehow a good stats for a player like his caliber. Though he might not have been scoring, but he's a distraction to the opponents. If you watch the game against Cameroon and the game against Angola, you see that he was a distraction. He was a player whom everybody has a spotlight on him. That is a star man. And so if we hold him, we have whole Nigeria. But no, he's just a distraction to the opponent. And when it gives that, you see that Lookman have stolen the show and become the star man because he's scoring. But not forgetting that Osimhen is the key man of that Nigerian squad because of his identity, because of his exposure, because of his the fact that he has won a Ballon d'Or. So every team will be playing Nigeria knowing that Osimhen is a dangerous player. He can score at any time. So that's why he comes in as a distraction. He's playing the role of Nzitambe in 2017. Yeah. He's playing that same similar role which Trezeguet played in France World Cup triumph in 1998. And he's also playing that same role which Giroud played in France triumph in 2018. That's what he's trying to play with the Nigerian team. He might not be scoring, but he's putting defenders under intense pressure. And so once the defenders are knowing that he's the one, he is the marksman, it gives rooms now for Iwobi, Lookman, and Moses Simon to pass in and score the goals, like look what Lookman is doing. So if he's missed tomorrow, it's going to be difficult for them to defeat South Africa because they know Osimhen is not there. And so they will now look now and say, okay, let's tackle, let's go out and tackle and attack and see what happens in the game. So it's going to be a big blow for them, and let's hope that the doctors and the medical team work out some magic so that he can be fit for tomorrow's game.
Very important there. Thank you very much, Jamie Ateke. Perhaps tomorrow we shall come to talk about fully beat up to the two beautiful games we shall be having tomorrow from 6 p.m. Cameroon time. That is, we shall be hoping that DR Congo play a good match, South Africa play a good match, Nigeria play a good match, as well as La Belle Famille Côte d'Ivoire. Thank you very much for being there for us, Jamie Ateke, all the way from Boya. Thank you for your time and input.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
All right, thank you very much, Joshim, for being there for us today. Hopefully
You're welcome.
We'll be back again tomorrow.
You're welcome. Tomorrow, Jimmy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being there for us this afternoon. Frank Muna has given way to Monsieur le Maire, Samuel Elong. I am Henry Wana at the anchor in Douala. Saying thanks for being there. Let's meet again tomorrow at exactly 2 p.m. Until then, stay tuned to our programs on Radio DAS. Good afternoon.